Yeah. Yeah. You ready? I'm ready. As I grab the Glock, put it to your headpiece. One in the chain. So what up, boy? What up? Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back. Wanted to do a video, kick off the new year, something a little different, because I was talking to my friend Mako yesterday, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes me and Mako be talking, so it be so much energy, like, between our conversations. Like, these be them backdoor conversations that nobody be around. You know what I'm saying? And we was exchanging, we was exchanging a lot of history about our relationship, you know, and we was weighing out things. And it made me start thinking back, you know, like, when you got fucking PTSD, you know what I'm saying? Your thoughts connect like long threads of thought. Like, if you watch Homeland, they show you this a lot. Like, it'd be like the thought, it'd be like real long memories. You know what I'm saying? So, what up, people? What up? What up? What up? So, as I was talking to him, my conversation started going back to our high school days. You know, but no, this might be just after the fact. Like, I went home and I was reflecting about the things we was talking about. My mind just kept going further back, and it went all the way back to 1995 to this poster that you where is it? Here, yeah. This poster that you see right here. You see what I'm saying? This came up in my mind, and I had forgot that I didn't forget this memory, but it was so many details about it that I had forgot, that when I started to recall all of these details, I was like, holy shit, like, I need to tell that story, because, like, I want to give a shout out to myself, believe it or not, for telling myself to make this video, because I'm ill, man. I'm ill as hell. Like, not to sound like fucking arrogant or narcissistic, but like when it comes to my brain, it's a reason this brain is mine. Like, and it's a way I deal with my brain. You know what I'm saying? And like, a lot of the shit on this page be like reminders of shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, when it comes to my brain, I know my brain pretty good. I'm Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was like, Joe, your brain gonna need this. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, my brain kind of told myself, man, you know, good luck for putting that there. Because as I explain this story, as it unfold, you gonna start to, I'm telling you it's not, you know what I'm saying? But like, this is more like therapy for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I forgot a lot of the things that I had forgot in this story. And I know I needed to like document this damn near like a tattoo. Because I know like 10, 20 years from now, I'm gonna go back and watch this shit. And I will thank myself for making it. So, but I wanna explain to you how good this memory makes me feel. That's why I might sound like I'm kind of tripping right now, you know what I'm saying? But like, this memory just brings, like, I cried last night thinking about this story. You know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't thought about the details so clear only until recently. And so I don't want to, you know, beat around the bush. If you ain't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe, like, share, you know, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But this story go back to 1995. You see what I'm saying? So like, if you look on here, you see what this was, the Chicago Summer Jam 1995. You see what I'm saying? Now, Common Sense was supposed to be there. Common Sense was there, Method Man was supposed to be there, and Biggie Smalls was supposed to be there. Now, mind you, like, Joe, it's so much shit just wrong with this whole shit off rip. Like, first off, Joe, this whole shit was bogus as hell. Cause like if you was in Chicago in 1995, this was literally like the hottest summer all time. Like, this shit broke records. And matter of fact, so if you from Chicago, and like, whoever find this video, you know what I'm saying, you gonna thank me later. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you a bunch of shit like motherfuckers forgot about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was, like, hold on, let me do like this. It was hot as hell that whole summer. It was hot as hell, like never before. Now, mind you, this is the shirt that I wore. I want to say this up front too. Like, they had this brand called Crooklyn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, I can't find the actual shirt. Like, it looked like this. Like, but the one I had really had this dude on it. Like, I can't even find it no more. But it had this logo. This is the original, like one of the original logos for Crooklyn. You know what I'm saying? But the shirt looked like a regular shirt, but it had this dude over the whole t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? This is the only one I can find, even not to this day, with this dude head on it. You know what I'm saying? This was a huge logo back then in '95. You see what I'm saying? And like, I had the shirt that I wore when I went to the concert had this on it. It was covering up the whole shirt though. You know what I'm saying? But if you look here, it says in July 1995, Chicago heat wave led to 739 related deaths over Chicago over a period of 5 days. Most of the victims of the heat wave were elderly, poor residents of the city who cannot afford air conditioning and did not open windows or sleep outside for fear of crime. I remember this, and like, this goes into the story of how me and Biggie ended up meeting. Like this really set the whole presence of the whole shit. And then, like, it was hot as hell in Chicago. And if you do, you can go look this up on Wikipedia. You know what I'm saying? And it's talking about environmental racism, all type of shit. And then, like, at one point, they end up burying people. Like they had a mass grave, right? Is it right? In August, the victims of 41 victims whose bodies had not been claimed were buried in a mass grave in Homer, Illinois. So like, people was dying left and right all summer. So like, they shouldn't even been throwing that damn concert like in the gate. Like, you see what I'm saying? So like, you know what I'm saying? Now, and mind you, like, I'm gonna show you this footage. Now, mind you, this is actual footage from the concert. Now, if you look, I was like somewhere right in here, man. And like, mind you, I didn't watch this footage like 100 times. And like, I can't find my shit. I know, like, cause I remember, like I don't want this channel to get struck, but this is Biggie performing Who Shot You in Chicago. You see what I'm saying? It's at the Regal Theater. Now, this is at the actual Summer Jam. Like, now mind you, that's Lil C's right there on his left. And then I believe it was Puffy on his right. I don't know who that is smoking weed right there. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you look on his right, like it was Lil C's on his left and Puffy was on his right. Neither one of them have a shirt on the whole. I remember they was up there with no shirt on the whole concert, and it was like motherfuckers was covered in buckets of water, but it was all sweat. I remember this specifically. Neither one of them, like, Biggie fat ass was standing in between two basically like butt ass naked niggas, the whole shit. And it, like, at first glance, it kind of looked like gay, like I think that was Lil C's, and I think the other nigga was Puffy. Now, mind you, like, I don't know if that nigga was actually Puffy, because like, at the time, you gotta understand, like, I didn't really know shit about Biggie. Like, it was so ironic that I was even there, so that's why I gotta take you back. Like, I'm only showing y'all this shit right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that was actually Puffy, but like, to the crowd, they was like playing like it was Puffy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was telling him like he was pretending like he was Puffy. Like, to the crowd, they made the crowd believe like that was Puffy. You see what I'm saying? For all practical purposes. You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that when I left, I remember leaving there thinking like I didn't know if that was Puffy or not. Like, you see what I'm saying? But that was Lil C's. You see what I'm saying? And like, they were sweating the whole fucking night. And like, at first glance, it looked kind of like gay as shit. It was like what the fuck? But it was hot as hell. And everybody had on these fucking like towels. Like if you look around, everybody had like this is at a time when like motherfuckers started walking around with towel, like wet towels, and just wiping themselves all the time because it was hot as hell. But you know what I'm saying? So when Biggie showed up, he had on some jeans, and he had on some jean shorts, and he had on he had on some jean shorts, and he had on some Timbs. And like, it was like the first time I ever seen niggas wearing Timbs and shorts. And he had on that striped ass shirt. You know what I'm saying? And like, I remember him coming out with that thing on his head. And I remember thinking like, damn, I didn't expect that at all. Cause like at the time, like, he had just did the One More Chance remix. And you gotta say, like, One More Chance wasn't even on the album. Like, when you had bought Ready to Die, the One More Chance remix and Who Shot You, the song he performed right here, neither one of them songs even on the album. You see what I'm saying? So So I'm sitting there like, okay, this ain't even what the fuck I thought it was gonna be. Now pause. When you go back to this show, like, mind you, I said Method Man didn't even show up. They were saying it was too hot, he got sick, he didn't even show up. Now, the only reason I was even at this concert was because I was trying to get this girl, man, like, I was talking to this girl, man, at school. So I said, I ain't gonna say her name, you know what I'm saying? But she was one of the prettiest girls in the school, in the whole school. Man, her name was Loretta. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say her last name. So said, but like, she was gorgeous. This woman was gorgeous. To this day, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't seen her in years. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen her since high school. But I'm sure, like, wherever she was just a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, the fact that I had even asked her on a date, and the fact she had even said, yeah, it blew not only my mind, but it blew hella niggas' mind. Like, niggas like, nigga, ain't no way in hell she going out with you. I was like, bullshit, nigga. We went to Navy Pier, which is like, it's like the place where like the hipsters used to go, like back in the day, used to go play video games, ride on the Ferris wheel, shit like that. Like, so I asked this girl in school, man, to go with me on a date. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, like, I was a nerd, I was an introvert. I don't even remember what had got me to even ask her to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, it wasn't even in me to even do no shit like that, especially no girl like that. Like, it was just like an experiment type shit, and it just happened to work because she said, yeah, fucking it went. But, like, you could tell, like, she didn't really like me. You know, but at the time, like, I didn't care. Like, I was just like, man, this woman is beautiful. And just the fact I was out walking around with her and, like, went on a date with her, it was, like, literally one of the, like, at the time, what was I, like, 16? You know what I'm saying? 16, 17 years old, maybe. So I'm saying, like, that was one of the, like, that was like a movie for me at the time. Like, that girl, like, was, like, super pretty. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just me even being out with her and, like, I had a crush on her and, like, she was just entertaining the fact that I had liked her was, like, fucking huge for me. So we went on the Navy Pier, but, like, she didn't like me at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was, like, every time I tried to touch her on the hand, every time I tried to kiss her, it was like, no, she didn't like me at all. And mind you, like, at the time, like, it was kind of hard for me. Right? I mean, why would you go on a date with me if you don't even like me? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was boys, young shit at the time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was like, you know, so we went back to school. Everybody asked, man, you went out with Loretta? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. They was like, yo, so what happened? I was like, we went to Navy Pier. I was like, man. Everybody would ask, you know, did you smash? Did you kiss her? Did you? And I was like, nah, I didn't do that. And they was like, man, you lame as hell. Like, I remember feeling like lame as hell, where everybody had found out that I had actually went out with that girl and, like, did nothing happen and we weren't together. And, like I remember I was like, Joe, you a total fucking lame. Like, it was crazy. Cause, like, that girl, mind you, she was totally out of my class, man. Like, the fact that I had even pulled her was like a miracle. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, but I remember when it all had went past, like, it felt like I felt lame as hell. So Summer Jam was coming up. You see what I'm saying? And then, like, I remember thinking, man, like, everybody was talking about they was gonna go to that shit. Now, mind you, wasn't nobody gonna go to that shit, cause, like, I went to Catholic school, you know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of the kids was around clout chasing, talking about they was gonna go. Their parents weren't gonna let them go to that shit. So I said, but my dad was ruthless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause, like, my dad had just bought me this was even more crazy, like, cause I had just bought the Biggie Smalls CD, and I had bought it on accident. Like, I didn't even like Biggie. This was, you gotta understand, like, didn't nobody like Biggie. Like, this was at a time, mind you, everybody hated Biggie. Like, everybody hated Biggie at this particular time, because, like, Tupac had just went to jail. Tupac was in jail. You see what I'm saying? And, like, he was pushing Who Shot You. And, like, Biggie album, the only reason I hadn't even bought Biggie album was because it was called Big. And, like, me and my dad was looking for a song by A-Ball and JG called Mr. Big. You go, Mr. Big, Mr. Big. They call him Mr. Big, Mr. Big, Mr. Big. But not because of my size. It's a classic hip-hop record. Like, so I said, my dad loved, like, my older brother had introduced the song to my dad. You see what I'm saying? So, one day, me and my dad was out looking for that record. You see what I'm saying? And, like, we went into a record store and we was telling the record store, man, we looking for a song called Mr. Big, Mr. Big, Mr. Big. They call it Mr. Big. And he was like, oh yeah, you looking for Biggie. So, like, he gave us Biggie, thinking that was it. And he was like, okay, yeah, we get it. We bought Biggie thinking it was fucking A-Ball MJG. That was the only reason we even bought that out. So, like, when we got the album, we started listening to it. My dad was like, Joe, this ain't Mr. Big. What the fuck is he? He was like, you got some, I'll never forget, man, I almost died laughing. My dad came to me, he was like, man, it's a girl in there sucking his dick. I was like, the fuck? And then they played a skit of Biggie getting his dick sucked by some girl and shit. He was like, man, this a CD of a dude getting his dick sucked by some girl. And I like, it wasn't nowhere in hell my dad was supposed to give me that CD, but he gave me that CD. He was like, man, you can have that shit. So, like, I remember I listened to it, and I didn't like it either, because I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, the only song I had liked on there was Warning. That was literally like the only song on there I had even liked. I didn't even like that album. You see what I'm saying? But I remember that was the only reason I even had that shit. So later on, when I asked her, like I heard everybody talking about Summer Jam, I asked my dad, I was like, man, can you get me 2 tickets to go to Summer Jam so I can get this girl back to go with me? Because everybody in my school trying to go to Summer Jam. I was like, man, I'll do anything. Can you just please give me 2 tickets to go to Summer Jam? He was like, he said, go see that dude? Let me get his dick sucked on the CD? I was like, yeah. He was like, he gonna be in Summer Jam? I was like, yeah, man, him and Method Man and Common Sense, man, can you please? I was like, Joe, I'll do anything, man. Can you please just give me 2 tickets to go to this? You know what I'm saying? So to this and shit right here. So I was like, so he was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it for me. So he went and got me 2 tickets. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, perfect, I'm back in the game. So I went with all the confidence I had right back up to Loretta. You know what I'm saying? This is about like, you know what I'm saying? A little, like maybe a week or 2 after. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Joe, you know what I'm saying? I know you trying to come with me to the motherfucking Summer Jam and shit. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I'll never forget the way she looked at me. She said, I don't even like Biggie Smalls. And I was like, what the fuck? She was like, I don't even like Biggie. And then like, cause I didn't even like Biggie. That was the crazy part about the whole shit. So I was like, damn, I really done fucked up. Like I didn't convince my dad to go buy me these 2 tickets to take this girl, and like I just kind of saw she want to go. She didn't even want to go. So then I felt like a real lame. I was like, man, wait, hold on. So I got 2 tickets to go see this nigga. I don't even like this nigga. And I got to go see this shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, fuck, this shit all the way fucked up. So mind you, it was hot as hell still. You know what I'm saying? So like motherfucker really didn't want to go to no concert, be around a hot ass room like that. Like, you see what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this shit all fucked up. But at the time, another thing too, like Method Man had a song called You All I Need, like, you know what I'm saying, with Mary J. Blige. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like that was a real big song at that time. So like I used to try to play that song for her. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to play that song. I was like, man, you know that song remind me of you all the time. You know, Mary J. Blige gonna be there with Method Man. They gonna be doing that song. We gonna see. I don't care about beat. This is how I tried to, you know, oversell it. I was like, well, I'm trying to go see Method Man and Mary J. Blige gonna do You All I Need. And she's like, oh, you know, that's so sweet, but no, motherfucker, I'm not going with you. I was like, fuck. Now, mind you, neither one of them motherfuckers even there. Like, Method didn't even show up. It don't even say on here Mary J. Blige was gonna be in there. But like in my mind, I'm thinking it say Mary J. Blige. I'm thinking Mary J. Blige gonna be a fucking soldier. Mary J. Blige wasn't at that motherfucker. So Method Man wasn't even there. He didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So quite naturally, the day come for the concert, my dad like, man, you ready? You know, your girl gonna be there? Man, I can't tell this nigga. I'm like, oh, you know, she gonna meet me there. He's like, okay. So my dad take me there. I'm 16, getting dropped off at the fucking Biggie Smalls concert by my fucking dad. You know what I'm saying? I get out the car. You know what I'm saying? He sitting there want to wait to see the girl. And I'm like, he don't know, man. The girl ain't coming, nigga. Like, shit. So like, all right, well, you know, I gotta go get in line, get out of here. She probably already, you know, wait for me. Okay, so he leave. You know what I'm saying? So I go in. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we get there, it got Method Man name crossed out with a big ass X. They like, Method Man is not coming due to he had a dude on the bullhorn. Method Man is not gonna be here because of the heat. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit. So we went inside. I remember when we went inside in the lobby, it's the Regal Theater. If you go look at my movie, Believe in Something, you know what I'm saying? Like it opened up with man, I ain't about to go find all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It opened up with my main character walking down the street. He walking past the Regal Theater. That's on 79th in south side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? South Shore Drive. So I mean, well, it's really off of like Stony. That's off like Stony, like 79th to Stony. You know what I'm saying? So that's where this shit is at. So in the lobby, they had like a big ass like replica. It was like a stand up like cutout of Biggie. You know what I'm saying? And like you could go to it and take pictures with it and shit. Like people was taking pictures. It looked like real Biggie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like this. And like if you walked up to it and stood next to it and took a picture, it looked like you was really standing there with Biggie. And like hella people was doing it. I never forget that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was mad I couldn't do it because I ain't had no fucking camera. You know what I'm saying? And then so like when we went in, I remember hella motherfuckers was opening up. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, I didn't read shit online, but I think it's bullshit. But cause like they got a bunch of articles online talking about how Kanye opened up for Biggie that night. So I'm saying, but like it's bullshit because like everybody who they got listed on that night didn't even perform. Like it ain't this. Like they got like Psychodrama, Twister, Do or Die, Crucial Conflict, and like those were Chicago motherfuckers. Like, and they said like, and Biggie had performed. I guess in Digital Underground had performed, but like I think that's all bullshit. But for some reason, like I wouldn't put it past that Kanye might have opened that night, because like literally everybody who was rapping in Chicago at that time opened that night, and I never forget, Joe. Like motherfuckers was ready to leave because it was taking so long for like they had like at least like 3-4 hours of openers that night, like. Cause like you got there, motherfuckers was getting there by like 5 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock, thinking that Biggie was gonna be on stage like 7, 8 o'clock. Biggie ain't hit the stage till about like 11, damn it, like about 11 o'clock at night. You see what I'm saying? Damn near like 12 o'clock at night. Everything up to that point, that mind you, Method Man didn't even come. Common Sense shut that motherfucker down. Like Common Sense rapped for damn near like 2 hours straight. And like he was the only reason motherfuckers didn't start leaving. Cause like up to that point, Joe, we had sat through like 3-4 hours worth of like, and you talking literally every fucking rapper from Chicago came and performed. And like it was certain rappers like Soldiers of War. Like if you from Chicago, you know Soldiers of War, these niggas you walk around with orange coats and shit. Like I remember even they came and performed, you know what I'm saying? And like, but it was just so fucking hot in there. Like motherfuckers was in there literally passing out, fucking dying of heat, like on some Travis Scott type shit. Like it was like, Joe, like, motherfuckers about to go. So like when Common Sense literally saved that whole concert, because when he came in and like I didn't even fuck with Common Sense like that at the time, because I really didn't know his music like that, because I used to listen to him on like gangster rap. But like, and like most of the people there was like just there for the music. You see what I'm saying? So like when Common Sense performed that night, man, I was like, Joe, I had never seen MCing like that, because like we had just sat through like fucking 3 hours of like just amateur MCing, but it was something about like when Common Sense got up there and started rapping, Joe. Mind you, this is the first time I had in multiple years I seen Common Sense. I done seen Common Sense perform in my lifetime at least like 10-15 times. You see what I'm saying? But that was the first time I had ever seen him perform, and like mind you, like I ain't gonna say that, you know what I'm saying? But like I will say this, like my fan base toward Common Sense has changed over the years a lot. But like, you know what I'm saying, that night was like my first real introduction into like Common Sense. Like I knew who he was, I had heard a couple of his songs before, but I had never really sat and been introduced to that nigga's. I was like, Joe, like everybody was like, oh my God, this nigga is like something different. It was like to see Common Sense at that time, man, like I can't even explain. Like that show at that time was like something fucking out of space, Joe. Like it was, I can't explain it, man. It was like some straight Pisces shit. But it was there's no words to describe what that show was. Like when Common Sense made you forget Method didn't even show up. Like his whole show was something like out of this fucking world, Joe. Like just the way that he was hip hop, Joe. Like he was hip hop. And like in Chicago, like where we was at that time, we had never seen hip hop, like a Chicago nigga do hip hop like that at that time, like with a crowd and a line. It was like we had like motherfucker, because we had just watched like all this, I don't want to say whack shit, but it was like amateur shit. But he showed you what like professional hip hop was supposed to look like that night. And like everybody who witnessed that shit, it was like, make no mistake, this is what this shit's supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't even like Common Sense like to this day, like as a like his music and shit like this to this day. But Joe, back then, I had to, there's no words that I could even use to explain the impact that performance had on me. Like me being like 16, 17, like at that time, that particular, it was fucking mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, after he got off the stage, like they brought more motherfuckers up there to start doing like opening up. Mind you, they had some comedians and shit. Like I don't remember all of the details. You know what I'm saying? But I do remember dude keep saying all night, he was like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? And they had a beeper kept going off all night. Who the hell is this? I remember they kept saying that shit all night. Paging me at 5:46. And then out of nowhere, like we was waiting hella long. It was hot as hell, and out of nowhere, Joe, they was like, okay, sorry, it's taking so long, but we just want to introduce y'all Biggie Smalls. Like the way it happened, like dude just ran up there quick as hell. He was like, sorry, y'all, here we go, Biggie Smalls, and it was like, woo. The stage opened up, and Biggie walked out on stage with the same shit I just showed you. You see what I'm saying? And like, I remember thinking like, damn, I did not think this was gonna look like this. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, I did not think that, like, you know, I just thought it was gonna be like a show, like with a fucking pimp suit on or some shit like that. Mind you, fucking tweak. I was, you know, 16, 17 years old. I just thought he was gonna be like a pimp. You know what I'm saying? But he came out there with some fucking some shorts, some Timbs, some fucking shorts on, and a fucking and a thing on his head. Fucking two niggas with no shirt on rapping next to him. And I was like, Joe, this shit whack as hell. But like, I remember it was funny as hell. Like it was funny because like the hype man, I remember thinking all the women was like going crazy for fucking Lil C's and like the nigga who was supposed to be Puffy. You know what I'm saying? And like, they were screaming for them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I remember the niggas was like, man, this shit gay as hell. Like, a lot of niggas was like, man, what the fuck? And like, you know, he was doing his songs and shit. And like, it was lit. Like, it was lit, but it wasn't lit as Common Sense shit. I remember thinking, I was like, Joe, Common Sense shit was kind of better. And then like, now pause. Biggie album, the only shit that was cold was Warning. So like, when he came out, the first song he did was Warning. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, when he came, it was like, do. It was like, everybody was going crazy as hell. When that song went off, I think he did the Brat with the B-side with the Brat. I think like he did like one of them records and some shit like that. Like where it was like, oh shit, like shit was moving. But I remember like after like 2-3 songs, the whole energy started to change, man. Like where it was like, Joe, this shit ain't really like lit. Like how many, like he ain't really got that many songs like that. You know, and I remember kind of thinking everybody wanted to hear One More Chance because like One More Chance wasn't on the album. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of people was wondering like if he was going to perform because it was a brand new record. They was really pushing Biggie at that time, but like didn't nobody fuck with Biggie. Like everybody was like fuck Biggie because of Tupac, and Tupac was in jail. You know what I'm saying? So like, pause. Everybody knew Who Shot You. That's why when that record came on, man, like, and mind you, Common Sense, I remember too, Common Sense had just performed over the Who Shot You beat, which was another thing. Like before Common Sense left, he rhymed over that beat, and that beat had just came on maybe like about an hour before Biggie hit the stage, and like Common Sense had destroyed that beat for like 3 fucking minutes straight, like freestyling to it. You know what I'm saying? So like, when that beat came on with Common Sense, when it came on, everybody was like, oh, because at the time everybody was saying it was the Tupac diss. Like they was like, Joe, like, and mind you, I didn't know nothing. Like I didn't even fuck with Biggie. Like the only reason I even had heard of Who Shot You was because fucking Biggie was, because my brother had the single for Who Shot You. Now mind you, I had if you look at the CD cover, fucking Biggie CD, Ready to Die, and then you look at the single for Who Shot You, they look very much the same. Like, you see what I'm saying? But I remember when my brother pulled that motherfucker out and showed me that shit, that Who Shot You CD, and it looked just like the one I had that I never played. Like, I never played that Biggie out. And I was like, wait, hold on. What the fuck is that? And he was like, Joe, this shit ain't on the album. Like, Mike, this is only like maybe a week or two prior to me going to the concert. I had never heard Who Shot You. I ain't even know what the fuck it was. I ain't fuck with Biggie. Biggie wasn't even on my radar. Like, you see what I'm saying? But when he pulled that shit out, I was like, what the fuck? That ain't on this. It was only so many, like, shit like this had never really happened before in hip hop. But like the album wasn't doing good. So like they released cause they had the One More Chance single, which was a whole nother shit. It kind of looked like the same shit, but it wasn't. It was like, Joe, they putting out other songs that ain't even on the fucking album. You so say, I guess they like trying to reshop this nigga or something. So say, cause after Tupac went to jail. So like, that ain't on the album. He said, I know, man, he played that shit. And by the time he played it, he, like, my brother used to know the whole rhyme. Like, he rapped the whole Who Shot You right there in front of me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Heartbeat sound like Sasquatch feet. Thundering, shaking the concrete. Then the shit stops when I pull a plot. Neighbors call the cops, say they heard mad shots. Saw me in the drop, 3 1/4. Slaughter, electrical tape around your daughter. And like, my brother being Pisces, kind of like common sense, like he had a way of like bringing them lyrics to life. Like mind you, like at the time you talking nigga like 16, you motherfuckers is totally destroying my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers sitting there talking about putting electrical tape around a nigga daughter. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like I got my brother like miming this shit, like acting this shit out right in front. I'm sitting there eating a motherfucking Salisbury steak for dinner. My fucking brother standing in the kitchen rapping Who Shot You, talking about killing Tupac and shit. Mind you, I'm a huge Tupac fan. I ain't even know this was, I'm like, well, hold on, nigga, like, what the fuck is this? Like, and mind you, and it drove me back to too, like if you go watch the All Eyes on Me scene when Tupac come walking out the jail cell and they playing, he in the prison and they playing Who Shot You and he walk outside, he turned like, what the fuck? And he hear that shit playing, like, what the hell? It was like that. Like, it was like, what the fuck? Like, when you first heard Who Shot You, it was like gravity spinning backwards on your ass. It was like, what the fuck is this? Like, cause like everybody was gone off Tupac. And the fact that Tupac was in jail already, and then niggas had kind of heard rumors about niggas dissing Tupac. But then for a nigga to say, hey, hold on, watch this, and hit play, and hear a voice like Biggie, it's hard to, you cannot get these in these times. I can explain this to you a million times, but you cannot, like at the time, it wasn't no internet. It was like, who played that shit for you had an impact on how you heard it. And like when I first heard Who Shot You, and it was like, Joe, it's a nigga out here dissing Tupac, talking about who shot him, and like, it was like, please, and like, but when you heard it, it was like, what the it was, I can't explain it, man. I can't explain it. It was like a virus, nigga. It was like your whole world started spinning backwards. It was like a retrograde. It was like, this is not happening. You know, and it was like Biggie, like Biggie, like, and it was just sick. So I had only just heard this record maybe like 2 weeks before I had got to this concert. So when he cut that shit on, just like you go watch that footage, I'm trying to tell you, like it had just went through a slump. And mind you, in the movie, they kind of show you that, and mind you, like I didn't even think about this until just recently. I was like, Joe, they actually kind of showed you that in the movie. Like if you go watch the movie, it was a scene where Biggie was on stage and they was like, boo, boo, boo. He was like, man, I need to cut on that record. I need to cut on that record. And then when he cut it on, when I tell you in the Notorious movie, Joe, when that scene, I don't know who wrote that scene in, but like I didn't really even get that scene until last night when I was retracing all of this shit in my mind, and I was like, Joe, that is what happened. Cause like when they cut that fucking, it was something about that beat, that ding ding, and that get live, motherfuckers, 9595 motherfuckers. It was like, to be there at that time to see that shit. And mind you, like I said, the nigga on stage wasn't Diddy. But it was like he had the sunglasses on, and I guess like he was like, they was calling him Diddy. Like I don't know what the fuck. You know, at the time, you know, they was doing all type of shit, like, cause there wasn't no internet. You know what I'm saying? But he was saying all of the parts, get 9595 motherfucker, get high, get live, motherfucker. You know, and like it felt like getting your wig split open, nigga. Like your whole, like a nigga just go into your brain and tear your shit open, take your brain out, and just load it with like straight adrenaline. It was like nothing I had ever seen before. Mind you, I was like 16 at the time. It was like literally having your whole fucking subconscious like just destroyed. Cause like everybody was Tupac fan. Everybody was. Like you would never have thought, cause like man, Tupac like had did Poetic Justice. Tupac had did like, am I upset with the Crooklyn shirt on? Like it was just a whole change in the tide, and didn't nobody like Biggie. Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? Like I remember even the girl who told me she's like, I don't like Biggie. Like I remember like at that moment when I was sitting there watching Who Shot You, I was like, Joe, like hold on. people don't know what's happening right now. Like, I remember everybody kind of thinking that, like, Joe, like, Biggie about to take over the whole, like, Biggie is not fucking playing. Like, there was like a tidal wave of Biggie. And then, like, if you just took one look in that direction of who shot you, and like kind of understood, like at the time, like that record wasn't on the album. One More Chance wasn't on the album. You know what I'm saying? And like how his shit dipped like this, and like how Who Shot You just was like a fucking a fully loaded ammunition clip magazine that was like, okay, when you run out, put this shit in and start shooting and watch. And it was like, that's what that shit was. You know what I'm saying? So like what ended up happening, he did the rest of his set. And I remember he said, thank y'all, God bless you, good night, and he left. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was standing around like, Joe, he ain't even do One More Chance. Because nobody knew Biggie's records. But I remember one thing he did, I want to say that was dope, that I had eventually seen in hella shows later on, that like he split the crowd up in half. Like he was like, man, I think this side, like in the middle of one of his songs he got done, he said, man, I think this side a little bit more lit than the other side. And I was on that side. Mind you, like if you go look at that footage, the same, like in the direction I was pointing at, you know what I'm saying? Like where I was sitting at. Man, hold on, let me try to show you this. Like, is this on here? Right, like he was like, I think this side a little bit more lit than the other side. And I found out later on, this is just something I guess that all of the damn, what the hell is going on? All of the rappers do. Right, so like you see how he's standing to the right, I was on technically the left, but his right side of the stage, you see what I'm saying? And he tended more to my side. Like I was on the left side, you see what I'm saying? And he said, man, I think this side is a little bit more doper than the other side. And we went fucking crazy. Like we couldn't even believe he said that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, and then I guess Lil C, he was like, no, I think this side a little bit better. And then they was like, you know, fuck this side, fuck that side, fuck that side, fuck that side. You know, that's what ended up, you know, that's when I say fuck that side, y'all say fuck that side. So like they start, and I had never seen nothing like that, you know. But then like later on, as I start performing and seeing more and more shows, I started seeing that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? But that was the first time I had ever seen some shit like that. So like when he got off the stage, he didn't do One More Chance. And everybody was standing around saying, man, he didn't do One More Chance. And then it got quiet for about maybe 30 seconds. And then he came back on stage and it said, and everybody went fucking crazy. Because like One More Chance was so new. And at the same time, like a lot of people didn't know it wasn't even on the album. So like people didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I'm saying, so like they didn't even think he was gonna perform it, but he did. It was the last song he did. He came back on stage and performed it. And I guess it was part of his show that he walks off stage and then comes back on and does it. You know what I'm saying? So, or I don't know, maybe it just happened like that for I don't know. But either way, he came back on stage and did One More Chance, and he shut it down. Like it shut it down. I mean, I remember too. Like Common Sense was on stage. He had his whole crew. Common Sense had a whole crew. Everybody was on stage by this point. Mind you, like everybody. The whole crowd had started walking on the stage and everything at this point. And like Biggie was just standing there like around, everybody was all standing around. Like that same stage I just showed you, everybody was on stage, the crowd, like the security, it was lit as hell. I was like, Joe, this is fucking unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? And like mind you, I walked past the security, I walked right up onto the stage, you know what I'm saying? And I was standing like right on the side of the stage where everybody else in there, like people was like getting like kind of pushed off the stage, but like security wasn't even tripping and shit. Like you would think like security been telling motherfuckers off the stage. It wasn't nothing like, cause even the security was like lit, like it was fucking lit as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then once he got done doing that, everybody lit, like he walked right off stage and walked right, like you walk through the backstage door. And then like right when you walk through the backstage, there was another door right outside. So he walked through that door. And mind you, like when you walk off the stage, you can walk right outside, right there, like boom. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, he walked off stage, walked through the back door, and then turned and walked right outside. You see what I'm saying? So like everybody who, I don't know why he did that. Like, you see what I'm saying? He could have just walked right through the front door. Like, you see what I'm saying? But so everybody started just walking right out through the exit. And mind you, I was right there. I was close as hell. Like when he, because he walked right past me. Like when he walked out the stage, he walked right past me. He walked right down the stairs. He walked through the door, and then he walked right outside. I saw him, because I saw the door, as the door closed, I was like, yo, he just went outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, boom. So I walked straight. There was a door right there. I walked straight outside. Boom, Biggie said it right there. So I was like literally like one of the first, like 10, 15 people that was out there. Mind you, like you talking within seconds. It was like fucking hundreds of people coming right behind me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like when I first walked outside, like Biggie was right there. It was like 3 other people. You know what I'm saying? And I remember him, he was taking he had a square. He was lighting up a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? And like as he was walking, he had the towel on his head, and everybody was coming around him and shit. And it was like, Joe, this nigga, it was hot as hell. You gotta remember, it was fucking hot as hell. And like you can kind of tell this shit wasn't supposed to be happening like this. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like it was like, wait, hold on. Like this shit didn't turn, like it was out of control. Like it was like, Joe, Biggie right there on fucking 79th and South Shore Drive. But it was too fucking hot, Joe. And like you kind of tell, like he was kind of like, Joe, like fuck, like he was about to, like motherfuckers was fucking dying. And like you kind of tell, like maybe he was about to black out, or if he was like had, you know, like you didn't really see him lose his composure. He didn't. He never lost his composure. But you can kind of tell the only reason he was outside because like there was no way in hell you was gonna be inside. Like at that point, it was too fucking hot. Like you might have fucking died. Like no bullshit. So like everybody outside, Biggie saying it right there. He got the same towel over his head. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there looking at this nigga like nigga right there in front of me. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm thinking, do I ask this nigga for an autograph? You see what I'm saying? Now mind you, I ain't got no pen or nothing. I'm sitting there with my Crooklyn shirt on. You see what I'm saying? I'm sitting there looking at the nigga like, damn, I want an autograph. So like, they like, Biggie. All the fucking women. Biggie, I want an autograph. Ain't nobody got no fucking pen. You see what I'm saying? Now, mind you, Biggie ain't saying shit. He just sitting there lighting this motherfucking square. He lighting the square. And I'm like, Joe, this nigga cool as hell. Like, either he too cool or something wrong with this nigga or something, but like, he was not affected by the crowd. Like, he was not affected by that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? And he was kind of like nodding his head a little bit, lighting the square. You know what I'm saying? And then, so, I don't remember exactly how or what. Like, it was just, I remember it was a lot of blur right there. You know what I'm saying? But I do remember somehow, like a girl had a Sharpie mark. It was a girl with a fucking Sharpie mark. You see what I'm saying? And she had a t-shirt on. You see what I'm saying? And he signed her shirt. I remember him signing her, like she kind of went like this, and he signed his name on her shirt. And somebody was like, Biggie, man, told you. Like he was gonna start signing shirts. But the girl snatched the damn pen. I was like, damn, like the girl snatched the mark. It was a Sharpie mark. She was like, that's my pen. That's my Sharpie. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I remember thinking like, damn, bitch, because I had a shirt on. Mind you, I was 16 at the time. But I remember thinking too, this nigga ain't signed, like he ain't even addressing no dudes. Like he wasn't looking at none of the dudes. Like he was only addressing specifically the women. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, you kind of felt lame if you did say something. You know what I'm saying? But mind you, at the time, I was 16, so like I didn't really get, like I kind of knew this, but then like I didn't really give a fuck at the same time. I was like, Joe, like, nah, nigga, like I want to meet this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So she took the damn marker back. You know what I'm saying? So like, I kind of looked. I had the Crooklyn shirt on. I kind of looked. I was like, mind you, because like he saw me when we first came out, and I saw him kind of look at my shirt. You know what I'm saying? And I was like when he signed that girl's shirt, like it gave everybody the idea, like, man, I can get my shirt signed. You know what I'm saying? Because then nobody had no pen, then nobody had shit. You know what I'm saying? So everybody kind of started looking like, Joe, like, fuck. So then I kind of looked at him like, man, can you sign my shirt? You know what I'm saying? And he kind of looked at me like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, shit. You know, and I couldn't get shit signed. It was what it was. But I do remember the dude behind me, he was like, Biggie, let me get an autograph. And he was ignoring that nigga like everybody was. And I remember he was the only nigga he said something to, because he said, Biggie, man, you remember me? I know your sister. He said, I know your sister. He said, I know your sister. Biggie, you remember me? I know your sister. And Biggie, he's like, I ain't got no sister. And went back to smoking on the square. And everybody was like, oh. And then dude got quiet as hell. He's looking stupid as hell. And I was like, Joe, what the fuck? Like, That was the only nigga he said something to throughout the whole shit. Everybody else, like, he was quiet, he was soft-spoken, he was quiet as hell. And I remember him, he signed that one girl autograph, and then, like, I remember him hitting on that square, and then, like, I just remember him trying to cool off. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I remember him shrugging at me like this. I went like this with my shirt, and he kind of just looked at me like, I was like, damn. And that's my story of how I met Biggie. So, you know, but when I found out he died on March 10th, when I woke up on you know what I'm saying, I was in my bed. It was on a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I woke up, my dad woke me up, you know what I'm saying? He said, hey man, your boy got killed last night. I said, who? He said, the dude that be getting his dick sucked on the CD. I was like, Biggie? He was like, yeah, I guess Tupac killed him. You know, Tupac's already dead, but like my father, he's like, I guess Tupac killed him. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, it was something about the way he said that joke. Like he was joking, you know, but like because I remember even that night when he came and picked me up, like I remember getting in the car, I couldn't hear shit. It was, my ears was ringing. I remember that. And like it took me like 2 days before I got my hearing back. And like he was like, man, like he told me, he was like, man, don't never go to a concert again without fucking, I fucked my ears up that night. I'll never forget that shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when he came and got me, he asked me, man, did you have a good time? And I was like, yeah, you know, and he never really indulged in that. Like he didn't really understand what that was, like at that time. Like he had no idea, like what the fuck he had no idea, you know. So like even when he had died and he came and told me, he was like, oh yeah, I guess your boy got killed, I guess Tupac killed him. Like I remember feeling like, yo, hold on, man, like you just ripped my fucking stomach out, nigga. Like you said that shit like you just fucking ordered some french fries. Like I stood fucking literally 3 feet from this man. Like, man, you know, 16 years old. Like I was like, man, like this dude, I never saw, like with my own, you know what I'm saying, from the moment I saw Biggie, like, you know, just in a few little seconds I was saying and looking at, like I never really saw, I always just saw him as like as a musician. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like I don't know, it's kind of hard to, I never really saw him like as a gangster, like in the way that they was trying to package him to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just saw him as like a dude doing music. You know what I'm saying? And like, my father kind of saw it as like he was more into the image and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where I was like, man, like that ain't really, that's who he is, but that ain't like who he actually fucking is. You know what I'm saying? So like, when he got killed, a lot of people was kind of happy to see Biggie get killed. You know what I'm saying? And like, my dad wasn't necessarily happy to see, but like, it was a lot of people joking around when Biggie got killed. And I remember being mad as hell. Like anybody who had joked about Biggie getting killed, like I took that shit personal for like a long time. You know what I'm saying? Because of, you know what I'm saying, the interactions I had seen with him just, you know, in those brief moments. You know what I'm saying? Just in all of that heat and all of that, you know, and all that chaos and commotion that was going on outside, it was just like the way he handled that whole fucking crowd, man. Like nobody would never do no shit like that, like today. And like in Chicago, in these times, like a rapper like that fucking big to be like right outside on 79th and fucking in Stony Island, ain't no way in hell. Like no rapper would do that shit. Like that big, like today, right now, no way in hell. No way. And like he was literally out there with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you had a pen, he would sign it, but if you didn't, like, you know what I'm saying, he couldn't. But like, at the same time, like he just handled it like with pure grace. And mind you, you know, later on, I had met Sheek Louch, you know what I'm saying? I met Sheek Louch several times, like on the East Coast. But every time I met Sheek Louch, it was the same shit. It was outside of fucking, standing outside of motherfucking concert hall somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Outside, shaking hands, talking to people, vibing with people. And I remember every time I saw Sheek Louch outside doing that, it always took me back to that memory with Biggie doing that same shit. And like a lot of times, same shit, like when I see rappers outside, you know, wherever they just perform at, like outside talking to the people, like just having a good time with the people, like it always bring me back to that memory of Biggie. Like, cause he was literally like that first staple I ever seen somebody do some shit like that. And like Sheek Louch, you know, being around Bad Boy, and shit like that. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was just because he was hot or if it was like, you know what I'm saying, if it's something he do for every show, but like, you know, to go through that, you know what I'm saying, at a young age and see some shit like that, you know what I'm saying, like, man, like, people don't have no idea the impact that that had on me, you know what I'm saying, in my life. You know what I'm saying? It was literally one of the greatest moments in my entire life. You know, it's just, you know, as a shorty, adolescence growing up, it was one of the greatest moments in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I remember too, last thing I'm gonna say, I remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out, the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out like the next day after Biggie had died. You know what I'm saying? And I had watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a movie that came out like 1992. And I thought that shit was cold as hell, like at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when they had announced that Buffy the Vampire Slayer was coming out as a series. And it was supposed to come out on March 9th or March 10th, whatever, 1990. The day was like the day of or the day after Biggie got killed. And I remember him getting killed was the reason I never watched that shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I remember at the time, like it was like I couldn't even stomach. I mean, like, it was crazy because I used to love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. And I was like, yo, they got a series of this shit? This shit gonna be cold as hell. But just the timing of that shit dropping, the day, like right after, like I remember getting the news of Biggie, and then like I was supposed to watch that show. I couldn't even watch that show. It was literally the main reason why I never even watched that show and never even got into the series or nothing was because of Biggie, Joe. Like I remember that to this day. That like, cause every time I always see Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I always be like, damn, that's that shit I never got into. It was like, there was no reason I didn't get into it other than the fact of fucking Biggie, Joe, and the fact that it dropped on the same day or like the same with, like a day or two after Biggie had died. You know what I'm saying? And I also remember too, Return of the Jedi remake. It came out in 1997, and that was the movie that my dad had ended up taking me to see to get me past like that whole situation with Biggie. Cause like at first he didn't understand it either, but like he saw that shit had really fucked with me. And they had remade Return of the Jedi. And I remember him taking me to the movie to go see that shit, to get past that shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, you know, Biggie, even though I didn't at first like Biggie, you know what I'm saying? When I finally sat down and went, you know what I'm saying, and went to his concert and watched that Who Shot shit, man, that shit was like, you know, I loved, you know what I'm saying? To this day, man, I still love Biggie, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that more people, you know what I'm saying, should share more stories, you know what I'm saying, like that. A lot of times people talk about Tupac and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, but like Biggie, you know what I'm saying, if you're an MC and you know what I'm saying, a rapper, you know what I'm saying, I be hoping that like a lot of times people share more Biggie stories and shit like that, man, you know what I'm saying, and not necessarily celebrities, but you say just fans and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, I'm a huge diehard Biggie fan. You know what I'm saying, I could probably rap, like you can on any Biggie record, I could probably rap the whole shit. You know what I'm saying, any record. And I probably know it like backwards. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, if y'all got any Biggie stories, you know what I'm saying, leave it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all watching. This is my Biggie rant. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get back to y'all sooner than later. You